Takeda Shingen, of Kai Province, was a preeminent daimyo in feudal Japan with exceptional military prestige in the late stage of the Sengoku period. Name: Shingen was called Taro, or Katsuchiyo during his childhood. When he celebrated his coming of age, he was given the formal name Harunobu, which included a character from the name of Ashikaga Yoshiharu, the 12th Ashikaga shogun. It was a common practice in feudal Japan for a higher-ranked warrior to bestow a character from his own name to his inferiors as a symbol of recognition. From the local warlord's perspective, it was an honor to receive a character from the shogunate, although the authority of the latter had greatly degenerated in the mid-16th century. Both the Ashikaga and the Takeda clans descended from the Minamoto clan. Technically, Harunobu, as well as his forefathers, had borne the surname of Minamoto. Therefore, Harunobu would be referred to as Minamoto no Harunobu in official records kept by the imperial court when he was conferred the official title of Daizendai. The imperial court had maintained a system of ritsuyo that was parallel to the shogunate apparatus. In 1551, Harunobu chose to live a Pabaja life and received a Dharma name, Shingen, from his Buddhist master. The kanji of Shingen can also be pronounced as Nobuharu, which is the inversion of his official name, Harunobu. In ancient times, such religious names of recognized Japanese aristocrats would be read in onyomi, the Chinese-style pronunciation, instead of kunyomi, the indigenous Japanese pronunciation. Although widely known by the Dharma name, Takeda Shingen's formal name remained Harunobu throughout the rest of his life. Shingen is sometimes referred to as the Tiger of Kai for his martial prowess on the battlefield. His primary rival, Usugi Kenshin, was often called the Dragon of Ekigo, or also the Tiger of Ekigo. Early life: Takeda Shingen was the firstborn son of Takeda Nobutere, leader of the Takeda clan, and daimyo of the province of Kai. He had been an accomplished poet in his youth. He assisted his father with the older relatives and vassals of the Takeda family, and became quite a valuable addition to the clan at a fairly young age. But at some point in his life after his coming-of-age ceremony, the young man decided to rebel against Nobutere. He finally succeeded at the age of 21, successfully taking control of the clan. Events regarding this change of leadership are not entirely clear, but it is thought that Nobutere had planned to name the second son, Nobushiga, as his heir instead of Shingen. The end result was a miserable retirement that was forced upon him by Shingen and his supporters. He was sent to Tsuruga province, on the southern border of Kai, to be kept in custody under the scrutiny of the Amegawa clan, led by Amegawa Yoshimoto, the daimyo of Tsuruga. For their help in this bloodless coup, an alliance was formed between the Amegawa and the Takeda clans. Initial expansion: Shingen's first act was to gain a hold of the area around him. His goal was to conquer Shinano province. A number of the major warlords in the Shinano region marched on the border of Kai province, hoping to neutralize the power of the still young Shingen before he had a chance to expand into their lands. However, planning to beat him down at Fu, they were unprepared when Takeda forces suddenly came down upon them at the Battle of Sezawa. Taking advantage of their confusion, Shingen was able to win a quick victory, which set the stage for his drive into Shinano lands that same year. The young warlord made considerable advances into the region, conquering the Suwa headquarters in the siege of Kuwabara before moving into central Shinano with the defeat of both Tozawa Yorikaka and Takato Yoritsugu. However, the warlord was checked at Uetahara by Murakami Yoshigyo, losing two of his generals in a heated battle which Murakami won. Shingen managed to avenge this loss and the Murakami clan was eventually defeated. Murakami fled the region, eventually coming to plead for help from the province of Echigo. After conquering Shinano, Shingen faced another rival, Nagao Kagetora or later Yusugi Misatora, Territora, Kenshin of Echigo. The feud between them became legendary, and they faced each other on the battlefield 5 times in the battles of Kawanakajima. These battles were generally confined to controlled skirmishes, neither daimyo willing to devote himself entirely to a single all-out attempt. The conflict between the two that had the fiercest fighting, and might have decided victory or defeat for one side or the other, was the fourth battle, during which the famous tale arose of Yusugi Kenshin's forces clearing a path through the Takeda troops and Kenshin engaging Shingen in single combat. The tale has Kenshin attacking Shingen with his sword while Shingen defends with his iron war fan or tessen. Both lords lost many men in this fight, and Shingen in particular lost 2 of his main generals, Yamamoto Kansuke and his younger brother Takeda Nobushiga. After the fourth battle of Kawanakajima, the Takeda clan suffered 2 internal setbacks. Shingen uncovered 2 plots on his life, the first from his cousin Suwashijimasa, and the second, a few years later, from his own son Takeda Yoshinobu. His son was confined to the Toko Temple, where he died 2 years later. It is not known whether his death was natural or ordered by his father. After this incident, Shingen designated his 4th son, Takeda Katsuyori, as the acting leader of the clan after himself until Katsuyori's son came of age. Katsuyori himself, however, never became the formal head of the clan. The death of Yoshinobu is believed to have much to do with the change in Shingen's Amegawa policy. After Amegawa Yoshimoto's death in a battle against Oda Nobunaga in 1560, Shingen had started to plan an invasion of Suruga, a territory now controlled by Yoshimoto's son Ujizane. Yoshinobu, however, had strongly opposed such a plan because his wife was the daughter of late Yoshimoto. By 1567, nonetheless, after Shingen had successfully kept the forces led by Yusugi Kenshin out of the northern boundaries of Shinano, taken over a strategically important castle in western Kazuka, and suppressed internal objection to his plans to take advantage of the weakened Amegawa clan, he was ready to carry out his planned Suruga invasion. During this time Shingen also ordered the damming project of the Fuji River, which was one of the major domestic activities of the time. Shingen and Tokugawa Ieyasu are believed to have made a pact to share the remaining Amegawa lands between him, and they both fought against Yoshimoto's heir, Amegawa Ujizane. After defeating the intervention forces commanded by Hojo Ujimasa of Sagami, Shingen finally secured the Suruga, formerly base of the prestigious Amegawa clan, as a Takeda asset in 1569. Upon securing Takeda control over Suruga, northern Shinano, and western Kazuka, Shingen moved to challenge the Oda-Tokugawa alliance, leading a formidable force of over 30,000 into the latter's territories in Totomi, Mikawa, and Mino in 1572. Death. The exact circumstances surrounding Takeda Shingen's death are not absolutely known. There are many different stories, some of which are as follows. When Takeda Shingen was 49 years old, he was the only daimyo with the necessary power and tactical skill to stop Oda Nobunaga's rush to rule Japan. He engaged Tokugawa Ieyasu's forces in 1572 and captured Futamata, and in January engaged in the Battle of Mukatagahara, where he defeated, but not decisively, a small combined army of Nobunaga and Ieyasu. After defeating Tokugawa Ieyasu, Shingen stopped his advance temporarily due to outside influences, which allowed the Tokugawa to prepare for battle again. He entered Mikawa province, but soon died in the camp. Some accounts say he succumbed to an old war wound, some say a sniper wounded him earlier, and some accounts say he died of pneumonia. He was buried at Erin Temple in what is now Koshu, Yamanashi. The film Kagemusha, by director Akira Kurosawa, loosely depicts a well-known version of his death in which a single sniper shot to him at night. The other aspects of his death depicted in the film were artistic liberties taken by the director. After death, Takeda Katsuyori became the daimyo of the Takeda clan. Katsuyori was ambitious and desired to continue the legacy of his father. He moved on to take Tokugawa forts. However, an allied force of Tokugawa Ieyasu and Oda Nobunaga dealt a crushing blow to the Takeda in the Battle of Nagashino. Here Oda Nobunaga's matchlock armed infantry destroyed the Takeda cavalry. Ieyasu seized the opportunity and defeated the weak Takeda led by Takeda Katsuyori in the Battle of Temokuzan. Katsuyori committed suicide after the battle, and the Takeda clan never recovered. Upon Shingen's death, Kenshin reportedly cried at the loss of one of his strongest and most deeply respected rivals. One of the most lasting tributes to Shingen's prowess was that of Tokugawa Ieyasu himself, who is known to have borrowed heavily from the old Takeda leader's governmental and military innovations after he had taken leadership of Kai during Toyotomi Hideyoshi's rise to power. Many of these designs were put to use in the Tokugawa shogunate, while the Takeda were for the most part destroyed by the loss of Shingen's heir, Katsuyori. Shingen had a profound effect on the period in Japan. He influenced many lords with his law, tax, and administration systems, and many tales were told about him. Although aggressive towards military enemies, he was probably not as cruel as other warlords. His war banner contained the famous phrase Fu Ring Kazan, taken from Sun Tzu's The Art of War. This phrase refers to the idea of swift as the wind, silent as a forest, fierce as fire and immovable as a mountain. The motto applied to Shingen's policies and his military strategy. Retainers. During the Edo period, 24 retainers who served under Shingen were chosen as a popular topic for Irukyo-e and Bunraku. The names vary from work to work. In the following list is the widely agreed version of retainers. They had not worked together, as some had died before others served, but they were noted for their exceptional contributions to Shingen and the Takeda family. Of his retainers, Kosaka Masanobu stands out as being one of Shingen's better-known beloveds, in the style of the Japanese Shudo tradition. The two entered into the relationship when Shingen was 22 and Masanobu 16. The love pact signed by the two, in Tokyo University's historical archive, documents Shingen's pledge that he was not involved in, nor had any intentions of entering into, a sexual relationship with a certain other retainer, and asserts that, since I want to be intimate with you, he will in no way harm the boy, and calls upon the gods to be his guarantors. 24 generals of Takeda Shingen: Akiyama Nobutomo, Amari Toriyasu, Anayama Nobukimi, Baba Nobuharu, Hara Masatane, Hara Toritane, Ichijo Nobutatsu, younger brother of Shingen, Itagaki Nobukata, Kosaka Masanobu, Naito Masato Yo, Obita Masamori, Obita Toramori, Obita Ramaza, Oama Kagetaker, Oyamada Nobushiga, Saigusa Moritomo, Sanada Nobusuna, Sanada Yukitaka, Tada Mitsuyora, Tsuchiya Masatsegu, Takeda Nobukado, Takeda Nobushiga, Yamagata Masakage, Yamamoto Kansuket. Other generals: Sanada Masayuki, Yoko Takatoshi, Kizo Yoshimaza. Takeda Shingen Festival. The Takeda Shingen Festival takes place on the first weekend of every April in Kofyu. Usually a famous Japanese TV actor plays the part of Takeda Shingen himself. There are several parades going to and from the Takeda Shrine and Kofyu Castle. These parades are very theatrical, involving serious reenactors who practice the rest of the year for this one weekend in April. The parades reflect the different comings and goings of Takeda Shingen during his life. Family. Father, Takeda Nobutara. Brothers, Takematsu Inuchiyo Takeda Nobushiga Takeda Nobumoto Takeda Nobukado Matsuo Nobukori Takeda Suchi Takeda Nobuzana Ichijo Nobutatsu. Sisters, Joki-in, married Omegawa Yoshimoto Nanchao-in, married Anayama Nobutomo-nene, married Suwa Urashige. Son, Takeda Katsuyora. In popular culture, Takeda's battles with Kagetora were dramatized in the movie Heaven and Earth. Takeda Shingen's death is fictionalized in Akira Kurosawa's film Kagemusha. His life is the subject of a historical novel by Jiro Nitta, which was adapted for television in the 1988 NHK Tiger drama Takeda Shingen, starring Kichi Nakai, distributed internationally under the title Shingen. Shingen the Ruler is a turn-based strategy game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, produced by Hot B in 1989, and released in North America in 1990. The Takeda clan is a faction in Creative Assembly's Shogun, Total War and Total War. Shogun 2, with Shingen himself appearing in the latter's opening cinematic. Takeda Shingen has appeared in the highly popular Samurai Warriors and Sengoku Basara video game franchises, and in the anime Sengoku Basara, Samurai Kings. He is a character in all of the games of the Warriors Orochi series. He is a playable character in Pokémon Conquest, with his partner Pokémon being Rhyperior and Groudon. In Samurai Champloo, the character Jin has the Takeda Mon on his Keikogi. One of his notable descendants is video game music composer Yu Uemoto. Takeda Shingen was mentioned in episode 10 of the Tatami Galaxy when the protagonist noted that a 4.5 tatami room is perfect. And if a room were be larger than that, it would end up being as spacious as Takeda Shingen's lavatory, and one might even get lost. He is a main character in the anime Sengoku Basara, The Last Party, and Sengoku Basara, Samurai Kings. He was shown with a superhuman strength, able to use a large axe with effortless precision, ride 2 horses in standing position, even riding up walls vertically.